Good day, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you for Reason to Resist on August 26, 2025 from the International Airport in Larnaca, Cyprus. I just arrived. I will be here for the next several days. My purpose in coming here was to do a follow-up story on the massive influx of Israelis into the island nation and also further reporting on the activities of the British military at the colonial-era British military base known as Akrotiri, which is about an hour's drive from where I am now. I will be staying tonight in Larnaca to try to examine or acquire information about the purchase of local businesses by Israeli interests. And then we'll be heading, or at least plan for the moment, to be heading to Limassol and Akrotiri tomorrow. Behind me, you can see the arrivals board, and you may not be able to make it out from here, but what it shows is that within the last 55 minutes alone, 4 flights have arrived from Tel Aviv. And this is not the only airport, by the way, that services arrivals from Israel. One of the places I'm going to be visiting, which is a couple hours drive from here, and it's in the western part of the island. This is the southeastern part of the island. It's called Paphos. There is a large Israeli presence there and also a commercial airport. And that airport too receives many arrivals from Israel. So you can just imagine the extent of the visitor traffic from Israel when you have 4 arrivals within 55 minutes from Tel Aviv. Stay tuned, folks. I'll have a lot more to report in the days ahead. For now, I'm signing off from Larnaca Airport. Good day, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you from central Larnaca in Cyprus on August 27, 2025. I arrived yesterday late in the afternoon from Athens and quickly reported from the airport. And this morning I set out on a journey to examine as closely as I can the extent of investment by Israelis and also immigration to Cyprus by Israelis in the island nation. And my first stop is the Leonardo Boutique Hotel in central Larnaca, which is behind me. This hotel is owned, this whole chain actually, the Leonardo chain, which has numerous hotels in Cyprus and outside of Cyprus, particularly in the Mediterranean region, is owned by the Fattal Group, which is, I understand, Israel's largest hotel chain. It was founded by an Israeli billionaire, David Fattal, in 1998. He is reputed by Forbes to have a net worth of 1.6 billion US dollars. The hotel chain, Fattal Group, recently announced a major expansion in Cyprus, so that number of 9 hotels is presumably going to increase. It acquired in the process of, in the course of engaging in that expansion, a 5-star hotel in Limassol, which I think is called the Dream something, but in any event, they tend to be upscale and oftentimes luxurious hotels in this chain. I'm going to be going from here to the Shabad in central Larnaca. I don't know, I've seen reports that even getting close to it can be a dicey proposition, but I'm going to walk by and see what I can see. And then I will be heading out into the suburbs of Larnaca to explore other major investments by wealthy Israelis in Cyprus. So I've now moved on from downtown Larnaca, and before I head over to Limassol to the west of here on the coast of Cyprus, the southern coast, I stopped at the site of a major new real estate development which goes by the name of Horizon Towers. I'm currently standing in the Levadia district on what used to be, I understand, an oil storage facility. And behind me, you can see the site where they have just broken ground very recently. The developer of this company is reported to be a Cypriot corporation by the name of Shajwari Libovich Karekla Developments Limited. Its directors include Ariel Libovich, Rabbi Shajwari, and Marios Karekla. Libovich and Shajwari are Israelis. They own an Israeli real estate development company called Shwajari, sorry for the mispronunciation, Libovich Group, which is based in Tel Aviv. And Marios Karekla appears to be a Cypriot. He's chairman of the Cypriot construction company Dex Tech Constructions, and he describes himself as having been, quote, born in a contractors and developers family, close quote. So although there's very little information about his wealth, I suspect that means that he was born into some money. I'll come back to that in a moment. Now, construction of the project is being handled by two companies. One of them is Karekla's company Dex Tech. The other is a company called SL Investment. And on the website of the Horizon Towers Development, SL Investment describes itself as, quote, a distinguished company specializing in the construction of residential businesses, mixed-use complexes, and hospitality projects in Israel, close quote. There's not much publicly available information about Libovich and Shajwari. Shajwari's LinkedIn profile simply states that his company is based in Tel Aviv and that he was educated at Champlain College. There is a LinkedIn profile for an Israeli by the name of Ariel Libovich, but the profile of that individual does not disclose any connection to the Shwari Libovich company. The Ariel Libovich to whom that LinkedIn profile belongs describes himself as a systems engineer who worked for 8 years at the murderous Israeli drone manufacturer Elbit Systems. But again, I can't tell you with any confidence whether this is the same Ariel Libovich who is a director of the company that is developing this massive project behind me. According to the website for Horizon Towers, the finished complex will consist of 6 high-rise buildings, each 15 to 20 stories high, which is quite unusual for the architecture here in Larnaca. As I indicated, it will be 400 meters from the sea. It will encompass more than 500 apartments, multiple swimming pools, a modern gym, and gourmet restaurants. Shagre Libovitz Group is spearheading another major development in Cyprus. That is the Israeli company that is partnering with Karekla to develop this project. And that other major development in Larnaca is called Lumina Mare, and it too will be located on the sea in the port area of Larnaca. Lumina Mare, reports say, will be a 19-story luxury tower that is expected to include 54 residential and tourist units, all with large balconies facing the sea, a commercial floor, a dedicated lounge for residents, and a rooftop pool. The cost of the project is estimated at approximately 40 million euros. Shagre Libovitz Group will be joined in that development, the development of Lumina Mare, by another Israeli company, Kishri Tufa Group. According to the Jerusalem Post, these two companies have formed, quote, a new entrepreneurial partnership that will focus on real estate and tourism projects on the island of Cyprus. So before I depart and move on from this particular site, let's just go inside the project here and see what we can see. For the moment, there's nothing going on here, but it does appear by the mountains of gravel and the flattened earth that they have broken ground on the project. This is where the 6 towers will go. And, I just want to say that his character, Marios Karekla, if indeed he was born into money and doesn't have a need, to partner up with ne'er-do-wells, wealthy Israelis who undoubtedly have profited in some way from the theft of Palestinian land and resources, especially Israelis in the real estate sector. I mean, come on, Mr. Karekla. Do you really need to make money that way? Especially when there is a mountain of evidence that that Zionists have mounted a creeping takeover of your country. It's quite shameful, actually. In any case, I will now move on to another Israeli-owned real estate development in the Larnaca area. As far as I know, they've actually completed the construction of some units there, but we shall see, and I'll report back to you when I get there. So I've now moved on from the Horizon Towers project site. I've driven about 5 minutes away from there. I'm still in the Lavadia area in eastern Larnaca, and I'm now standing in front of another property development involving an Israeli investor, and this one is called Aqua Residences. The particular project behind me is going to consist of 2 separate blocks of 20 luxurious apartments. That's what the website says. This developer is a Cypriot corporation by the name of Infinity Properties. At least I think the direct owner is a Cypriot corporation, but it looks like Infinity Properties is actually a larger operation which is directed out of the United Kingdom. And although I don't know the identities of all the investors in Infinity Properties, or at least this particular project, Infinity Properties certainly is one of them, local media report that there is an Israeli investor participating in the Aqua Residences project. For the time being, I've not been able to ascertain the identity of that Israeli investor. Now, the managing partner of this firm, Infinity Properties, Madouan Beshara, appears to hail from the United Kingdom and has apparently quite a bit of experience in the real estate industry. Earlier in August, a local media outlet, Anisad Media, reported as follows. So from the following article, I think you'll get a sense of just how expansive the Israeli investment in the real estate sector here in Cyprus. I've only given you so far a very limited glimpse at that at the scope of that investment. So here's what Anisad Media had to say. For years, Larnaca had a reputation as Cyprus's laid-back coastal neighbor, a place of leisurely rhythms, low-rise buildings, and modest tourism. But that image is rapidly changing. From Levadia to Pila, cranes now dot the horizon. Glass towers are rising, and construction buzz blends with the sound of waves. And I can confirm that based on what I've seen, that is an accurate assessment of what's happening here. And Anisad Media continues. At the center of this shift, they say, is a new driving force, Israeli capital. Over the past 4 years, developers, investment funds, and private buyers from Israel have arrived in force, accelerating Larnaca's transformation from a quiet port city into a modern high-rise investment hotspot. Between 2021 and early 2025, Israeli investors purchased nearly 4,000 properties across southern Cyprus, with Larnaca, Limassol, and Paphos among the top destinations. Analysts estimate that 12,000 to 15,000 Israelis now have a residential presence on the island, many holding EU passports and viewing property here as both an investment and a lifestyle asset, close quote. Now, Anisad also provided a breakdown of where those 4,000 plus units have been purchased by Israeli investors. In first place was Larnaca, with 1,406 units. Paphos was next with 1,291 units, and Limassol brought up the rear with 1,154 units. And that's, in fact, where I'm heading next. I'm going to get on the road and drive along the southern coast in a westerly direction towards Limassol. And once there, I will continue to investigate the activities of Israeli investors on the southern coast of Cyprus. Along the way, I plan to stop along the way to Limassol at another major real estate development involving Israeli investors. So I'll talk to you shortly. I'm now in the Cypriot village of Zigi. It's on the southern coast of Cyprus between Larnaca and Limassol. And as you might appreciate, this is a small and quiet fishing village as of 2018. The last year for which I was able to find population data, the population of this village was about 800 persons. Well, that's about to change, and in a quite significant way. Earlier this year, on the outskirts of Zigi, a Zionist property developer began construction of a major residential complex. The complex is called Carob Gardens. Carob Gardens will comprise more than 250 apartments and villas. If the average number of people living in those units is 3, then the completed project, if it achieves full occupancy, will roughly double the size of this community. And the newcomers to this village will be from a foreign country, predominantly Israel. And what I find kind of odd is that, the anti-immigration crowd in Europe, they seem to have a tremendous problem with black and brown people from the global south coming to Europe. But those people who tend to align with the right and oftentimes with the far right in Europe don't seem to have any problem with, foreigners from Israel coming into their countries and their communities and changing significantly the demographic, cultural makeup of their communities. I would have thought that if you're going to be opposed to anybody coming to your country, it should be people who are coming from a country which is committing a genocide and whose citizens overwhelmingly support the genocidal behavior of their government. I don't know why you would be hostile to people who are coming there just because they're looking for a decent living and they're willing to be law-abiding citizens and to contribute to the life of the community and to treat people as equals, as the vast majority of immigrants from the global south are. I know a thing or two about this because my parents came to Canada in the 1950s without a day of education in the high school system in Greece and without being able to speak one word of English. And they did so for the simple reason that they just wanted a decent life and couldn't find one in the conditions of poverty in which they lived in war-torn Greece. So in any case, I'm not suggesting that people in European countries adopt a bigoted attitude towards Israelis. I would urge people in any country to welcome with open arms Israelis who are opposed to what their government is doing to the Palestinian people and who are speaking out about it. But the fact of the matter is, and as proven again and again by polls, that doesn't describe most Israelis. In any event, I'm going to go out on the road now and to the outskirts of this village. It's going to be a little difficult to find Carob Gardens because the website for this development does not have a precise address, but hopefully I'll be able to find it, and then I'll continue my report about the background of this development once I'm out there. So after considerable effort, I found what I believe to be the construction site of Carob Gardens. It is behind me, or at least that's what I think is behind me. It's not clearly marked, so I can't be entirely sure, but based on my request for assistance to the locals, this is what I think is the Carob Gardens construction site. The developer of this project is a corporation established by Daniel Morris Goldberg. Goldberg is the founder of a UK-based company called DRL Real Estate. Goldberg advertises Carob Gardens as the first Jewish community project in Cyprus. To develop and promote this project, Goldberg has teamed up with the chief rabbi of Cyprus, Rabbi Ziv Raskin. Carob Gardens will comprise more than 250 apartments and villas with a number of communal amenities alongside a Jewish community center featuring a synagogue, a mikveh, a kosher kitchen, a convenience store, an event space, and the indispensable cigar lounge. In an article published by the UK's Jewish News in November of last year, Goldberg shared the reasons for which he's excited about this project. When asked why he chose Cyprus for this development, Goldberg told the Jewish News of the UK, quote, "I saw the speed at which this island is evolving along with the capital appreciation of real estate and felt inclined to invest. My belief in Cyprus stems from its favorable tax regime, climate, safety, and growing tech scene," close quote. In other words, Mr. Goldberg saw a great opportunity to make some more bucks. Unfortunately for the locals, first-time buyers, except for those who come from the most affluent sections of Cypriot society, are basically being priced out of the market because of the massive influx of big money from foreign investors, and to a large extent, that money is coming from Israel. That doesn't seem to bother Mr. Goldberg too much. In any case, when asked how much units at Carob Gardens will cost, Goldberg said prices would range from 175,000 euros for a one-bedroom to 360,000 euros for a three-bedroom. According to Goldberg, the complex will offer a number of communal facilities, including swimming pools, a fitness center, beautifully landscaped gardens, and a children's playground. The Jewish News asked Goldberg why Cyprus is a prime choice for UK Jews to buy a property, and he answered, "I believe Cyprus should be a strong consideration due to its close proximity, connectivity to Israel, up to 10 flights daily from Larnaca airport during peak season, and affordability. It is also the most neutral European country that I visited in recent years, and there Jews of all levels and backgrounds can feel comfortable to practice their rituals." Well, My only comment in regard to that comment, that answer that he gave was the government of Cyprus is anything but neutral. It is decidedly on the side of Israel's genocidal regime. I don't think any reasonable person could disagree with that assessment. In any case, I'm going to continue my exploration of the influx of Israelis and both Israeli individuals and money and corporations into the island of Cyprus. I'm now going to head to Limassol, and I'll have more to report to you later. It's now the morning of August 28th, and I am now situated in the lobby of the Grand Resort Hotel by Leonardo. It's on the southern coast of Cyprus, right on the beach, as a matter of fact, and it's about 10 to 12 kilometers from the center of Limassol. This hotel, this five-star luxury hotel, was acquired by Israel's largest hospitality group, the Fattal Group, in 2023. And at the time that the group acquired this hotel, it described it as a strategic acquisition. The hotel manager once quipped, at the time of the acquisition, actually told the press that there's hardly a Greek Cypriot who hasn't attended a wedding banquet at this hotel. So that's how important it is in the hospitality industry in this island. Also, the CEO of the Fattal Group at the time of the acquisition in 2023 told the English edition of Kathy Medini's Cyprus that he very much appreciated, his company very much appreciated the cooperation they were getting from the Cypriot government to make this a very favorable investment climate for companies like his. He talked a little bit about, preferential taxation terms and lower regulation and so forth. So quite clear from his commentary that the Cypriot government is not only allowing, but really actively encouraging, and at taxpayer expense, I might add, the massive influx of Israeli businesses into the island. I've been walking around this hotel for quite some time this morning just to get a feel for what's going on here. The language that I'm hearing spoken by the guests is overwhelmingly Hebrew. I would estimate that there are hundreds of Israelis staying at this hotel right now. So I'm going to walk around and see what we can see and share with you what's going on here. Have a look.
Aber dela bezigama vestórios gadamara. A dela mazigama vestórios setavia bills. Olha, the word on a gate.
Yep, lots of Israelis having a grand old time while their country massacres Palestinian children by the tens of thousands. That, by the way, is Limassol, and off in the distance to the south, hard to see any of the structures there, is the Akrotiri military base of the United Kingdom, and I'm going to be going there directly after I finish my reporting here. Sipping pina coladas while their government burns Palestinian children alive. Yes, folks. The world's most moral country and the world's most moral army. I'm telling you, man, it's wall to wall Israelis. Amazing. Shalom. I'm gonna walk back into the lobby wearing this big bad Palestine shirt. See what happens. Stand by. Well, that was less eventful than I expected. Good day, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you on the morning of August 29th, 2025 from the old city of Limassol in Cyprus. This is the last day of my trip here. I came here for two reasons. One of which was to gain greater insight into the massive influx of Israelis and money from Israel into the residential and business sectors of the Cypriot economy, primarily on the southern coast of Cyprus, where there are signs of construction, booming construction everywhere. And the second reason I came here on this particular trip was to gain greater insight into what is going on at the Akrotiri military base of the United Kingdom, which has been deeply complicit in the genocide in Gaza. The latter task is quite complicated by the fact that I can't get access to the military base itself, but I can get close, and physically close, and I've done that several times during the last 2 years, including yesterday. So I'm going to be heading over right now and taking you to another hotel owned by the largest hospitality group in Israel, the Fatal Group. But while I'm walking over there, I thought I'd sort of brief you on what happened last night. So after waiting for about a couple of hours in an area that is right next to the fence that separates the military base from publicly accessible areas of the Akrotiri Peninsula, I finally saw a cargo plane, what appeared to be a military cargo plane, landing at the facility, at the military base. And that cargo plane, it turns out, based upon information I obtained from FlightTrader24.com, a website that provides live tracking information about aircraft movements. Based upon the information they provided, the cargo plane which arrived at that moment, and you can see here, is a 737 operated by BAE Systems, the British military industrial corporation. And Flight Trader 24 states that this particular aircraft was coming from Taif in Saudi Arabia, where it's my understanding the Americans and or British have an airbase. Why it was flying from Saudi Arabia to Akrotiri and what cargo, if any, it was carrying, obviously unknown to me. But it's nonetheless curious that the Akrotiri military base is, accepting military cargo flights from Saudi Arabia. Certainly would like to know why. Unfortunately, I'm not able to answer that question. So I remained there adjacent to the Akrotiri military base for some time after the arrival of that cargo plane. And I had scheduled to do an interview in the evening with a podcaster whom I'd never met before. Her name is Grace. And one of the persons who was going to participate in that discussion was Alex Craner. And so because I hadn't completed my, visit to the Akrotiri military base, I ended up doing the interview in the back of my rental car. So while I was doing the interview, a fighter plane took off from the Akrotiri military base, and I wasn't able to actually capture footage of it, but I learned from Flight Trader 24 that that particular fighter plane was a Eurofighter, a Typhoon, operated by the British military, and that it flew in the direction of Palestine. Again, for what purpose, I can't say, but it's clear that, at least from the information provided from Flight Trader, that military aircraft continue to take off and fly in the direction of Palestine. And sure enough, after literally 3 or 4 minutes after that fighter plane took off, a military transport plane also took off from Akrotiri and then veered southward in the direction of Israel. And this is something I've seen repeatedly when I visited Akrotiri in the past. At the time that this happened, I was in the interview on my laptop in the back of the vehicle. And I'm going to show you now video footage of the military cargo plane taking off. I don't know where it was heading. And I don't know, obviously, what cargo, if any, it was carrying. But as you watch this and watch the plane veer off to the left, you can hear veer off southward in the direction of Palestine. You can hear Alex Craner in the background, who's in the middle of the interview, and he's actually talking about Israel at that very moment. So have a look at this.
Of Israel goes back to 1870s, if not earlier, and the whole situation there has been rigged for war, for demolition, for genocide, for a very, very long time. And part of those preparations included in the 1890s commissioning the writing of the Schoolfield Bible and then promoting that particular version of Christianity in the United States to a very, very large segment of the American population who are now the Christian evangelicals, who together with the Zionist Jews formed a very, very large vote. I think it's something like 60 to 70 million people. And if you study a little bit what their, what the source is for their devotion to Israel, for their loyalty to the state of Israel, it's extremely irrational. They are so they see this sort of as end times, as rupture, as biblical level stuff. And if any leader, politician, is perceived as not supportive.
Now, by the time the interview with Grace and Alex Craner and a couple of other commentators had finished, night had fallen over the Akrotiri military base. So I stepped out and shot the following footage. During the evening, I was there for about an hour and a half or so after sunset. I did not hear or see any military aircraft taking off, but I nonetheless shot this footage so you could see what the base looks like at night. Also, earlier in the day, I shot footage of a radar installation on the Akrotiri Peninsula. I don't know whether this is a British facility or it's operated by some other military, perhaps even the Cypriot military, but I suspect it has something to do with the British because it is so close to the actual military base. And here's my footage of the radar installation. Here you can see what I understand to be a British radar facility at the northern end of the Akrotiri military base. Now, after shooting that footage of the Akrotiri military base at night, I got in my rental car and headed towards my hotel. I wanted to stop on the way back to my hotel at a pub that British soldiers tend to congregate on the Akrotiri Peninsula. I've been there in the past and have seen a number of British soldiers there, but on this particular occasion, there were just Greek Cypriot locals watching a football match. So I then drove up the western side of the Akrotiri Peninsula and then came across this very unusual infrastructure. It kind of looked like electrical infrastructure, or it could have been related to radar facilities. And on the other side of the street from these facilities, there was something that looked to be a prison. So this is what I saw at that moment. So the bottom line is that I wasn't able to acquire too much more information over and above what has already been disclosed about the activities of the Akrotiri military base. I think it's quite clear from the totality of the reporting, including the excellent work done by Declassified UK and also by Matt Kennard, that the Akrotiri military base remains deeply involved in arming Israel, both with weapons and with intelligence, as the genocide in Palestine continues to unfold before the horrified eyes of the world. And whatever the Starmer government may say, it is clear that it has made no serious attempt to cut off the flow of weapons and intelligence to the genocidal Israeli entity after nearly 2 years of this horror. So let's have a look at another of the hotels belonging to the Fattal Group. I'm going to walk along the boardwalk here and we'll visit the facility, see what's going on. So I'm now standing on the boardwalk by the sea in central Limassol. The building behind me, on the other side of those trees in the boulevard to my rear, is the NYX Hotel. That hotel is one of the 9 or more hotel properties that are now owned in Cyprus by Israel's largest hospitality group, the Fattal Group. We'll go inside there in a moment, but I just wanted you to see kind of the lay of the land out here before we do that. So I'm facing southward right now. We are on the southern coast, and to the west is the marina. You should be able to see a strip of land over my right shoulder, and that is the Akrotiri Peninsula. And as you can see, all along the coastline here, there are residential and office towers, and frankly, this area bears a striking resemblance to Tel Aviv, and more so, I should say. Interestingly, over here, someone has put together a very interesting and compelling condemnation of Coca-Cola and its complicity in Israel's genocide. So take a look at this. That's right. Coca-Cola is enjoying genocide. One of the many corporations based in the West, highly profitable corporations that doesn't even have the basic decency to cease business activities in the genocidal entity, and is being rightly denounced by activists here in Cyprus. So, in any case, I'm going to go into the NYX Hotel and see if we can get a better sense of what's going on in there. Yeah, this hotel describes itself as lavish and luxurious, with stunning views of the Mediterranean Sea. So, yet again, we see how the hotel group has snapped up some very choice and valuable properties on the southern coast of Cyprus. So this is actually closed. I'm not supposed to be up here. Let's go down to the lobby. So I'm now in the lobby of the NYX Hotel by Leonardo here on the boardwalk in Limassol. And, you know, I've been walking around here trying to get a sense of where the people are from. And I did indeed hear a number of people speaking in Hebrew. So it does seem as though this hotel, like the Grand Resort, has a very significant Israeli clientele. Now, while I've been sipping on my coffee, I managed to dig up some interesting information about the owner of this hotel, the Fattal Group. The Calculus economic newspaper in Israel just reported that the Fattal hotels in Israel experienced a severe decline in the occupancy rate in the second quarter of this year for its hotels. It went from 72% in the second quarter of 2023 and 2024 to 58%. And this despite the fact that the second quarter is generally a strong quarter for this company in Israel and for the Israeli hotel industry generally. The newspaper said this decline was due to, quote, a near total absence of foreign tourists, close quote. So this is the Israeli media reporting this. Now, previously, it says, in the prior 2 years, the company was able to largely compensate for the near total absence of foreign tourists by accommodating at Israeli government expense Israelis who had been displaced from their homes, principally from the north of occupied Palestine due to the war between Israel and the Lebanese resistance. But because that war has been in abeyance, at least not from the Israeli side, they've continued to attack Lebanon every day, essentially, well over 1,000 times, if not thousands of times, in plain violation of its ceasefire agreement with Lebanon. But the resistance has refrained from attacking Israel during that period. They've shown remarkable restraint. And as a result, a number of these displaced persons who had left the north of occupied Palestine have returned. And so the Fattal Group is no longer able to compensate for the collapse in foreign tourism or foreign tourists coming to Israel by feeding at the trough of government handouts. The core operating profits of the Fattal Group, according to the Calculus, have fallen by 25%. These are the core operating profits in Israel. And the Calculus estimates that the cost to the Fattal Group of the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran in June, which lasted for 12 days, even though it was only a 12-day war, the cost was $13.5 million US for the Fattal Group. And the newspaper noted that the Fattal Group is having difficulty replacing the lost Israeli revenue from profits in Europe due to rising labor costs in Europe resulting from increases in the minimum wage. The obvious implication being that a lot of the Europeans employed by the Fattal Group are making minimum wage. That's quite a company, the Fattal Group. Remember, its owner is estimated to have a net worth of $1.6 billion. In other news, according to the Man Workers Association, which advocates for worker rights in Israel and Palestine, the Fatah group has dismissed in July dozens of Palestinian workers from its Dead Sea operations and plans to dismiss many more. These are, in many cases, workers who have been employed by the Fatah group in that area for quite a long time. And why is it doing this? It's doing this because the racist Netanyahu regime, its Ministry of Tourism, has issued a directive to these hospitality industry corporations to replace their Palestinian workers in Israel, in what we call Israel today, or what Western governments call Israel, with migrant workers from outside of Palestine. And principally, according to the Man Workers Association, these migrant workers are coming from Sri Lanka. Now, just contemplate this for a minute. So, if they have to bring in workers from Sri Lanka to replace Palestinians who've been working for some time at the Fatah group and are experienced and therefore more efficient than new incoming workers who have to learn the job, this must obviously mean that these are jobs that Israeli Jews don't want to do themselves. Which means that they are, of course, low-paying and menial jobs. But they won't even give the Palestinian people that much. They won't even toss them those crumbs after stealing their country from them. And so you are now seeing Palestinian workers who were previously employed in the Israeli hospitality sector being dismissed en masse and replaced by others from the global south. That's quite a company, Mr. Fatal. So that concludes my reporting on this trip on the massive influx of Israelis and Israeli money into Cyprus. I will be heading off now to Nicosia, the capital of Cyprus, to meet with some family members I haven't seen in a while. And then I'll be taking off from Larnaca this evening to return to Athens, and I'll do a brief sign-off report from the airport in Larnaca before I board my plane. So it's now the morning of August 30th. I'm back in Athens, and although I had intended to do a closeout report from Larnaca Airport, my plan was sidetracked when I went through customs. I was taken aside by customs agents and told that the Criminal Investigation Division of the Larnaca Police wanted to interview me. And they did that, and ultimately I was allowed to continue my journey. I had to buy a new plane ticket, because they caused me to miss my flight last night. And so I arrived in Athens quite late in the evening yesterday. I've published a separate report about what happened at the Larnaca airport. We published that last night on the evening of August 29th, so you can get a more detailed explanation of that experience. In any event, when I arrived in Athens, there was no incident. I sailed through customs without a problem. I've since had some communications with an activist on the island who tells me that some people who have become aware of what happened at the airport think, some Cypriots suspect, that this had something to do with the Mossad or the Shin Bet, because as a matter of fact, the Cypriot government, amazingly, has allowed, and this was announced earlier this year, agents of the Mossad and the Shin Bet to be stationed at its airports in Larnaca and Paphos. Whether or not they had anything to do with this through something that I probably will never know for sure, but I do recommend to you the report I published from the airport last night, so you get a better sense of what happened. Lastly, before I complete this report, we are just at the precipice of 99,000 subscribers. Reason to Resist, we launched this channel in the summer of last year, and we're very grateful to be nearing the threshold of 100,000 subscribers. Our goal was to achieve that by the end of August, so we have a couple of days left. If you're not already a subscriber, please do become one. And if you like this video, please share it. I hope you found it informative, and look forward to our next report in a couple of days' time. Now I'm signing off from Athens, Greece on August 30th, 2025.